forts and several hills in our Western Ghats, and that's why we have several plants also. Diversity wise, we are rich. This is Anjaneri, like a probable birthplace of your Hanuman or Maruti, Anjaneri. This is Brahmagiri. At the foothills of Brahmagiri, my college is situated, and you can see how many waterfalls are there in rainy season. If you come here, you'll be able to enjoy. So these are the questions you should ask yourself. Now all these students are from botany background, Nikhil?
All are from botany background, but some are having their specialization at TY level, and some are from first year and
No
second year.
problem. So means everybody know that some plants, no? So we should be able to see that what is diversity, what is biodiversity, whether we know plants from our vicinity, means our nearby areas. And if you don't know, then who will know those all those plants? So diversity is simply डायव्हर्सिटी विविधतेमध्ये एकता असं आपण नेहमी ऐकतो तसं. सो डायव्हर्सिटी इज एनिथिंग which you see in numbers. There are several species of the plants in our Western Ghats, several birds, several butterflies. And what is biodiversity? The diversity among the living form is biodiversity. This is the word we are listening from last decade, because last decade was the biodiversity decade by the United Nations. So from then onwards, what biodiversity got a lot of importance, and that's why we have specializations also in several universities. And if you don't know the word, or if you don't know the quantum of that word, it doesn't matter at all, but you should know the plants at least from your vicinity, your nearby areas. And because these are not plants actually, these are the resources. And if you don't know those resources, who else is going to describe your plants? Who else will come and teach you those plants? So that is why, have you heard the word public biodiversity register? Anybody? So public biodiversity register is the word now these days. The plants which are occurring in your area or villages has to be documented by the village panchayat itself, because those plants are your resources. In the future, if you are going to fight for your resources in the international court for the patents, so you should have some documentation of your plants. Suppose next day somebody from your village take a plant to the US and isolate some drug out of that and goes file a patent. And later on, if you say that we are using these plants from centuries, but nobody will believe because you don't have any documentation. So that patent will be certainly goes to the US. But we fought for the patent of the turmeric and basmati rice, and finally we got it. So rather than fighting, if you document your resources, that is good. So to document those resources, you should know the botany, you should know the plants. And whether we should save this man or we should save this person. So the answer will vary, because if there are some choices are given, certainly being a man or being a human, we always say that we should save him. But if we see his face, then certainly now everybody of us will certainly join our hands together, because this is Bharat Ratna, the Sachin Tendulkar, and we know that he's like so much, now he's not playing, but still he's like influential person. So the idea behind showing this photograph is, when we know somebody, when we know plants, we will certainly try for their conservation and for their like certain usage. So rather than going for conservation at the very beginning, you should know your plants, you should know your resources first. And that's what we are going to do it. So rather than being so much too much bored by the the initial words, you should see that people always say that पैसे काही झाडाला लागतात का? So money don't grow on tree. People say, but if you go for the biodiesel from that same plant, and if you have your own petrol pump, or if you sell that biodiesel to any petrol pump owner, certainly you are going to get money. Or in other words, we are getting money from plant itself, from those resources. When we sell vegetables which we are growing or any crop, or any plant product or any agro-based industry product, we are getting money out of it. So we can simply say that yes, money simply grow on a plant. So that was the biodiversity decade in last 10 years, 2011 to 2020. It was a biodiversity decade. And at the outset, when we are entering in the 21st, now we should know that biodiversity still has its importance. And it has three pillars: social, environmental, and economical aspects. And how do we see biodiversity? Nikhil, am I audible? In between, I should ask some questions, right?
Yes, sir. You are audible. No problems.
Lot of, because in between is so much quiet and there is no, because we are not giving this lecture in presence or in person. So I could not see any of you. Now only I can see my screen. And that's why in between also, if you have any question, you should ask, or in between, this is my practice, regular practice during classes, that I ask several questions so that I understand whether my students are listening me or just they mute me and they have went here and there, no, around. So how do we see biodiversity is, this is what is biodiversity: species, ecosystem, and genes. So biodiversity exists at three levels: species, ecosystem, and genes. So this is the elephant, and these are all blind people. If somebody asks them, this is one animal, whatever it is, but you should tell how it is, how it looks. So being people, they are blind. So somebody got its trunk, so they are saying it's like a pillar, or it's like some water tank or water pipe. Somebody who got its ear is saying something. Those who got its this one tail, they are saying it's like a rope, and vice versa. So many things, but they could not be able to say that this is elephant because they are blind. Biodiversity also same. As long as we don't know plants, as long as we don't know the real meaning of biodiversity, we are also as good as blind people, because biodiversity exists at several levels, and these three levels we should understand. The species, we are a single species, but we have genetic composition is different. That's why we are genetically different. So that is genetic diversity. Ecosystem, we have oceans, we have plateaus, we have this one you can say the dry deciduous forest, and so many ecosystems. So that is ecosystem diversity. And species, there are several species of birds, several species of butterflies, several species of plants. That is the species diversity. So you should understand first what actually we are going to study. So this is species diversity. You can see how many flowers you are seeing at present. At a point, there are several plants, and this is nothing but the biodiversity or floristic diversity. And our today's topic is floristic diversity of the northern Western Ghats. And certainly we are going to study these particular species. So architecture of each and every plant is different. These are legumes, all the pod bearing plants. Shenga, ज्या ज्या झाडांना शेंगा येतात असे, शेवग्याची शेंग सोडून. शेवग्याची शेंग is not a sheng, it is not a pod, it's not a legume, it's a capsule, because it dehisces across three sutures. But the different pods, bhuimug, that is pod actually, or pea plant, that is a pod, real pod, because it dehisces only across two sutures. So legume diversity is too much in the Western Ghats. So this is known as the species diversity. Some of you must have seen this particular plant, Memescylon umbellatum, Meles tomataceae. For Maharashtra, there is one poem. Maharashtra is known as like Anjan Kanchan Karvandicha Desha, they people say. Maharashtra Desha, no? Kankar Desha. So Maharashtra is known for the Anjan, Kanchan and Karvand. So wherever you go to the Western Ghats, you will see this plant for sure. Yesterday itself I clicked this in Kalsubai area. So you see this particular plant is our flagship species. You can draw some, you can make some notes also. Flagship species, wherever you go to the Western Ghats, you are bound to get this particular plant. Memescylon umbellatum, bauxite indicating plant. So what are the plants of rare occurrence in our northern Western Ghats? At this age, those students, those are in first year of BSc, second year of BSc, You need not to bother about the Latin names. You just look at the diversity and the characters of the plants. How particular plant is actually, you can see if you next time, if you go to the field and if you observe this, you should be able to recall that, yes, I have seen this plant. Of course, I don't know the name of this plant, but I have seen this plant somewhere in somebody's presentation. That you should remember. So Ceropegia mahabali is named after Trambak Shankar Mahabale. If you go to the Pune University, there is one hall which is named after Mahabale sir. Mahabale sir was from Pune. So his name has been given to this plant by Hemadri, who was working on the Ceropegias at that time. So these are rare in occurrence. You get this particular plant near Shivneri, Junnar area. This is Seshagiria sayadrica, which is monotypic and endemic plant of our Maharashtra or northern western Ghats. You get in Karnataka also this plant. So you see this is enigmatic. Nobody knows its phylogenetic position still. Where to fix this plant? These are the rare plant of our area. Ceropegia media, you get this plant in your Rajgarh or Lonavala area. If you go to Khas Plateau, you get this plant. Ceropegia media, you see this. These are the lantern flowers of our Maharashtra. Kandil Fool, in Marathi people call it as Kandil Fool. On this particular plant I have worked, not on this only, on entire Ceropegias of India I worked for my doctoral studies. Ceropegia vincifolia also, it's common in your area. Ceropegia hirsuta, this is the plant actually made me to come to the botany special even, not to even taxonomy. When I was very much fond of chemistry at that time, when I was in second year BSc, there was lecture, and in this lecture I saw this particular photo and I attracted towards botany. And this is the plant actually, this is the only photo, and eventually I made my career in the taxonomy and this genus itself, Ceropegia. This is Ceropegia lavi, which you get in your Harishchandragarh and areas. People call it as a flytrap flower also. So if you see this particular plant, you can understand these particular flowers, they are erect, right? After 24 hours, these flowers, they get drooped, they get down in position. You see, it is getting down. It's like, it's drooping. The reason is, see, these are the lobes. There are windows. Insects, small flytrap like Drosophila, they enter this flower and you see there are hairs inside. So once those flowers, those insects go inside, they will not be able to come out. Only because this flower is erect and those hairs, they are very much steep. They don't allow that insect to come out. So what happens is, and they come only for like breeding purpose or to get some nectar, but nectar is not too much, but this is in due course of time, they take this pollen out them for the pollen, and then pollination ensures. Then how they come out? After 24 hours, when flowers actually become too much like gloomy, water loss is there, and then it bend down, and once it bend down, that insect can come outside. So it is 24 hours imprisonment for that insect. So nobody can come with the bale papers to get that insects out. Nobody can. 24 hours come. So that's why these flowers, genus Ceropegia, is known as flytrap flower, that you should remember. Ceropegia bulbosa is common plant. This is Freria indica. Recently, one of my senior, is too much senior to me, Dr. Sachin Punekar from Pune, he renamed this flower as Shiva Suman. Earlier it was known as Makad Shindal or something, but it's good that first time it was described from the Shivneri fort, where our Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj born. So that's why this plant, this flower has been renamed by him, Shiva Suman. So, and this is rare plant. You don't get this flower everywhere. After Shivneri, this grows in Junnar area, then Harishchandragarh, and in Brahmagiri, Anjaneri, in northern western Ghats. This is endemic plant. This doesn't occur anywhere else in the world. So those plants are known as endemic. In Marathi, we call it as Pradesh Nishtha. So it is restricted to particular points only. So it is endemic plant. That's all. So to understand the plants, you should understand the family concept. So diversity of the Annunaceae in our northern western Ghats. Annunaceae means your sitapal, custard apple family. So Miliusa tomentosa is one. Annuna muricata means Hanuman phal. You must have heard Sitaphal, Ramphal. This is Hanuman phal because it is larger, bigger in size. It is not only its size which is important, but it is breast cancer. Like it is, these are having some of the medicines which are used against the breast cancer or cancer. So it is anti-cancerous plant which grows in actually Goa. It's common. You can grow it in your nearby your area, your house. Euaria narum, which is very much actually rarely you see in Amboli area. Amboli waterfall you must have seen. Orophias you get in the Kerala and the South area. Hirwa Chafa. There was one movie, Pune, Mumbai, Pune something. In that movie there was one song, no? You are something like Hirve Chafecha Pakadya. So that is this Hirva Chafa. Artabotris hexapetalus. Hexa, 6 petals, 6 perianth lobes are there. So all these plants belonging to the Annunaceae family, your custard apple family. They are growing in your areas. You can eat those. And these are the Ceropegias. Ceropegia odorata is there in Karjat area. This is Ceropegia fantastica, which is very much, fantastica itself name indicates that this is very much fantastic. You see, these sepals, they are longer than the petals. Usually, you must have seen, sepals are always smaller than the petal. See, these are the sepals and these are the petals. These are the corolla lobe, corolla tube. They are always smaller everywhere. But in these particular species, they are longer than the corolla. So that's why it is fantastic. All other Ceropegias are common. This is Ceropegia oculata you get in your Torna, Rajgarh area. This is Ceropegia attenuata which is growing in Konkan area or near at the foothills of Harishandragarh. This is Ceropegia angenerica, named after Anjaneri, which is probable birthplace of the Hanuman. So from there, my senior Dr. Nilesh Malpura and my other colleagues, they described it. So these are the Ceropegias. This is Ceropegia Noor Jahani, named after the Noor Jahan, who was the wife of Dr. Ansari sir. Ansari sir worked on the Ceropegias extensively in 1980s. So these are the several Ceropegia species. You must have seen some of them. These are the plants of ornamental value. These are the legumes. Those who are in the TYBSc botany, they have Leguminosae as their family. This is the standard or banner petal, Papilionaceous corolla. But this, look at that flower. What is the beauty of this particular flower? You can grow them in your garden rather than growing only winter annuals from the other countries. You can grow your own plants. Elysicarpus pubescens. Pubescens because hairy. See the beauty of this particular flower. Certainly you will be able to grow in your gardens. These are other legumes, especially Smithias. There is one madam known as Prabha Bhogaukar ma'am from Amravati area. She worked on the edible value of this particular species of the Smithias. Leaves are edible. People in Trambakeshwar and other areas, they call it as kaula in Marathi. They make vegetable out of this. And this has some anti-fertility factors also. Ovulation stops for a while if you eat the leaves of this particular species. And that's how you must not have ever seen that the tribal populations are exploding. No, never, because they are eating the plants which are growing in their vicinities and they have some medicinal properties. All are usually yellow, like Donald Duck like particular plant. But this is, you see, purple colored Smithia, which grow in Junnar and Trambakeshwar area, which is blue or purple in color, Smithia purpurea, endemic species of our Maharashtra. Mucuna pruriens, in Marathi we call it as Khaj Kohiri or Khaj Khujli plant. You must have used this also during your childhood. And now also you must be thinking to use for somebody. But of course, it is very much irritating irritating hairs are there, but it is not the only truth. If you forget about the irritation which is caused by these stinging hairs of this mucuna, this is also legume. These are the pods. It is used on these several, you see how many uses this mucuna has: snake bite, diarrhea, sexual disorders, abnormal menstruation, boils, and several things. Kidney stones even, rheumatoid arthritis. So several uses are there. Seeds, even people are using it as aphrodisiac also to increase the sexual potential. Mucuna sanjapi is the species, that is another species of khajkuiri which grows in Junnar area. You see, the dopamine content in entire Mucuna genus been evaluated by this R.R. Patil or Bapat sir et al. In Shivaji University, and they found out that maximum dopamine content, and dopamine is used against the Parkinson disease. So this discovery made to analyze that this Mucuna sanjapi has highest content of the L-dopamine throughout the country, throughout the world. This is Smithia purpurea. You see, this is endemic species of our country or northern Western Ghats. Cajanus seriaceus is your wild tur dal. So in future, if somebody want to improve Cajanus, they should be able to use the genes from these Cajanus, because this is wild relative of your cultivated Cajanus. Cajanus cajani is cultivated. Cajanus seriaceus is endemic. Never occur some diseases on this. Clitoria annua, your Gokarna. Gokarna is climber. Clitoria annua is erect plant. People made, you must have heard about the black tea. People make blue tea out of this in China and they eat it. This is very much medicinal. You should check these facts once lecture is over. Once you go to your houses, you should check these facts and you should understand. This is another legume which is very much like having ornamental potential, which is endemic, Desmodiastrum belgamens, which grows in the elevated areas of our country or northern Western Ghats, Anjaneri, Harishandragarh. You get everywhere. You have to go for field, then you will find such. Now these days we have several 5G and phones with these several cameras, so you'll be able to identify and take the photographs. Somebody will tell you name, but you have to just document it. This is the erect vigna, your moog, matki, udid, and this is the Vigna candalis, which is endemic plant, which occurs in our northern Western Ghats and has some food value also. But this is erect. Nespostylis bracteata, the closest relative of your Sauli, Vigna unguiculata, beans. So whenever in the future, if somebody wants the genes for the disease resistance, the students in the TYBAC, they will understand that they have one subject, plant breeding, next semester or this semester. So the plant breeding for the disease resistance. So you'll be able to use the genes from these plants to improve your crops, legumes especially. These are the Mordanias, Commelinaceae members. One of my senior, Dr. Mayur Nandikar, worked extensively on the Commelinaceae of our country. He is working in NGCPR, Nauroji Godrej Center near Shirwal. So sometime you should.
Last day they have their talk with us.
Wow, great.
Mayur Nandikar, sir.
So Mayur Nandikar sir is my senior and you worked extensively on this Commelinaceae family for what? So you understood, he must have showed you those photographs. So your Zaipatri, you must have seen these plant in your field. If you ever go to the field in the Western Ghats, the peaks in the Barki or Kolhapur area, you get the wild Zaipatri. So Zaipatri is known as mace. In the next semester or this semester in the medicinal botany paper, you'll understand that this mace is also edible, and this Zaipal, the seed, earlier people used to, this Zaipal is used for the childs, the kids. So they used to give this guti, they call Zaipatri. So Nima and other species of the Myristicaceae, they are very much potential plants, medicinal as well as aromatic plants. So these are our resources. These are not only plants, these are our resources. That's why Britishers came. Masale je padarth you must have heard. So now if you don't study them at all, somebody will again encroach. No? So that's why you should study. Cucurbits. Cucurbits is such a fantastic area to work in. Your kakadi, all cucumbers, kakadi, dodka, karle, kartole, there are even your tondli, bopra, dangar, several species, tarboos, kharbuz, lot of, you see, cucurbits, how much cucurbits we use. So that is why you should understand, if you get, these are all wild, huh? Wild cucumbers, wild cucurbits. So they have certainly potentials for the, you are improving your crop plants. And if you want names, you see, this is cucumis like Dipsaceous. Here he grows. We reported for India, my senior, Dr. Srikant Sutar, he is working in Wadia College. He worked on the genus Cucumis for his PhD. He is there in Wadia College. You should go to him sometime and you understand what are cucurbits. You must have never seen palms, they are branching. But this is the palm, you see, Hyphini dichotoma, this is branching palm. You can see this particular palm in the Alibag and Diu Daman area, commonly growing. People call it as a Ravan palm because you see how many branches. Palm doesn't branch anytime. Not only palm, monocot itself, they never branch, rarely they, but this is the branching palm, and not only branching, dichotomously branching. So that's why known as Hyphini dichotoma, because dichotomously branched. This is century palm. Corypha umbraculifera. In the Shivaji University Botanical Garden, this is growing. Now it is in the leafy stage. It flowers only once in its life cycle and it dies. Once when it flowers, it has largest panicle inflorescence of our 1 or 2 story building height inflorescence you get. And if you want to see them in the natural or wild condition, if you go to Shirsi Yana forest, this is growing commonly in Karnataka. So these particular century palm flower only once, that condition is known as monocarpic. Only once flowers and fruits in its life cycle. So century palm. All other palms they doesn't, but palms are very much useful. So that is the diversity among the species in our area. This is your kharik or khajur plant, shindi we call, Phoenix sylvestris. These are the orchid diversity in our northern Western Ghats. You see arids, there is Sitechi veni also, known as Rinco stylis retusa. We grow, we see those orchids in our Western Ghats. This is known as Waxora, Pectilis gigantea, the largest orchid in our Western Ghats. This much big sized flowers, commonly Pectilis gigantea. Then Habenaria comilenifolia, then Cotonia peduncularis. There is one insect I have shown here. This is wasp. And this particular labellum, TYBSc student, you should remember, there is one family Orchidaceae for in your syllabus. This is the labellum, modified petal. Inner petal is modified and we call it as labellum. This insect, it looks like exactly like female wasp. This insect try to copulate this particular flower. In due course, this pollinia attaches to its mouth. So it is known as pseudocopulation because this petal not only looks like female wasp, but it gives the pheromones. The smell is also like female. So when real female is not present in the nature, this insect try to copulate with this. It doesn't understand that this is flower petal. So in this way, pollination takes place. But when real female is in the comes into existence, then pollination stops. Of course, this plant you can find in the Belgaum area. On the mango plants, you find this orchid. So this is like a doll, no? Dancing doll. This is real. This is not morphed, okay? Habenaria crinifera. So this is real. Sometimes you get morphed photographs on your WhatsApp and Instas. Those are not real. This is the diversity among the insectivorous plants in our northern Western Ghats. Drosera indica, Kitak Bakshi, Drosera Burmani is there. These are Orobanches. Bambaku in Marathi called. Tambaku, must have seen Tambaku plant. On that plant, you find these, so people call it as Bambaku. This is Echinacea indica. These are all parasites. Utricularia babui. This is insectivorous. How it insects? This is Utricularia purpuruscens. If you go to Konkan area, you find in plenty, on Karst plateau also. Utricularia albocerea, smallest flowers. This is Utricularia babui. Utricularia striatula. You find those particular utricularia. These are all insectivorous utricularias. Bladderworts, in other words, it is called as. So it is striatula, grows on the rocks. You see, once this insect go inside, there is a trap. There are sensors at the entrance. There are the sensors. Once insect go inside, this flap closed down, insects will be trapped and digested inside. On the not nitrogen deficient soil, if they are growing, that's why it happens. This is how, this is the mechanism. These are the cilia, these are the sensors. Once insect or small amoeba, paramecium, if they come into contact on the bladders which are present on the rootstock, you find on the stems, there grows in the small water logged areas, these plants, this is digested and remaining is thrown out. So that is how they actually take the nitrogens or their nutrition requirements. These are the semi-parasites. In Marathi, we call it as bandgul. So these are diversity in the parasitic plants. There is Dendrophthoe, Macrosolane, Tolipanthus, Viscum, and whatnot, Taxilus also. So many plants. You need not to bother about the plant names in the Latin, but you should understand how much resources we are having. These are the parasites having actually very much green colored leaves. But then why they are parasitic? Why they don't go and grow in the soil? Why they are taking nutrition from the plant itself? Why they are becoming parasites? Like we depend on our parents, they depend on the other plants for its nutrition, for the water and other requirements. They can photosynthesize. I was about to give those small project to the students that I identify how much chlorophyll they are having. What are the types of the chlorophylls in these particular species? So those are in the TYBSc, they can understand. Those are in the first year, they can just see, oh, good photographs, that's all. Amorphophallus, Suran in Marathi, Kaddu we call, right? One of my friend, he worked on the entire India's Amorphophallus. We call it as Suran, right? He's working in Nashik now. So Amorphophallus is a group of plant which is actually having a lot of food value. So, because these are having tubers, no, underground tubers. So we eat them. So you see how much resources we are having. There are more than 20 species of Amorphophallus occurring in our country. So you must have seen some of them. If you don't, you just go to Shivaji University campus, you will find all of them at the one place itself. Because we are growing those, means my guru, Professor Yadav sir, he is growing those plants in. So this is, I was telling you, you go to the Yana forest, you will find, this is the evergreen forest. What is the diversity among the ecosystems in our northern Western Ghats? We have aquatic plants also. If you go to the Konkan areas and other, we have, tomorrow itself there is World Wetland Day, and see how many wetland plants we are having. These are the Rhotalas, Eriocolons, and these are the, say, underwater plants also you are able to see, because the reason is water is too much clean without pollution. In those water bodies, these endemic plants are growing. What is the habitat diversity in the northern Western Ghats? Plateaus. You see, this is the plateau, Khas Plateau. Some of you must have visited Khas Plateau, some of you must not have visited. So now I will take you to the Khas Plateau. You see, it's like a ocean of the flower. When I went first time, I was surprised how many flowers are at the one place only. But at the just initial shower, you don't see anything. Or even now, if you go, nothing is there. Only rock you can see. You'll find, oh my, this is the barren place. But no, with the onset of the shower, you see now, it is now flooded with the Impatiens lavi, which is an endemic species. Endemic Impatiens lavi. Nikhil, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. So this is how these plants are growing. Impatiens lavi. Impatiens lavi is an endemic impatiens. Terada we call in Marathi. But if you see how many species at one plant, if you place a quadrat of 1 meter by 1 meter, you will get more than 50 species in one quadrat. The reason is, this is the diversity, species diversity in the northern Western Ghats. We have plateaus, we have several, we have evergreen forest, we have deciduous forest, and these plateaus, they support to the several species. Senecious are there. Whatever in yellow you are seeing, that is senecio. In Marathi we call it as sonki. White, it is Eriocolons. In Marathi people call it as chamki. In nose piercing you use, no? That is what. Then there are several Smithias, several Impatiens, several other plants are around. Utricularis is the blue, whatever blue point you are seeing, those are all utricularias. So color changing on the plateaus it's like heaven, right? You see, it changes its color by every 15 days. The reason is every other 15 days other plants are coming in flowering. Now you see white is common. The reason is Eriocolon, they are flowering. Now it's yellow. The reason is Senecio is in flowering. Asteraceae member. This is what is Western Ghats. This is what is nothing but the Western Ghat diversity on the Khas Plateau. You see, my My professor, he has taken this photograph in 1981. You see what was the flowering at that time? It was heaven. Now because of the heavily tourism, it is now not that much flowering, not that much precious. You see, it is a bloom of Nymphoides indica. There is one pond on the, people call it as a Kumudini lake on the Khas Plateau. This particular flower, Nymphoides indica, you should see you should see this particular pond at once, Kumudini lake. Once it blooms, no, entire pond will be white. Rotala ricci, an endemic species. Rotala cyanurica is also described from the same place by my senior, Professor Milind Sardesai sir, in the Pune University. Lake on that Khas Plateau. He is my senior, Dr. Manoj Lekak. He worked on the Khas Plateau for his doctoral studies. Can you imagine, on a small area, one student he was student and he worked on this particular plateau, reported more than 350 plants from a smallest area. Several endemic species reported. Dr. Manoj Lekak, he is now assistant professor in Shivaji University. Without green plant, this is the flying frog, no, Malabar frog. Animals cannot sustain without plants. So we should care about the plants. What are the monotypic endemic genera in Northern Western Ghats? This is Calacanthus grandiflorus. We get this plant in Trambakeshwar, in Tilari area, recently designated as a protected area. Tilari, Chandigarh, Goa border. Calacanthus grandiflorus, interesting plant. The reason is, this is the only plant in that genus, Calacanthus grandiflorus, only one. In that genus, only one species. That's why it is known as monotypic. Only one genus, only one species. That's all. Acanthaceae member. Endemic, rare. Neuracanthus pyrostachys, another Acanthaceae. Endemic Acanthaceae. You can see those plants, Torna, Rajgada, everywhere. Neuracanthus trinervius. Another Neuracanthus. But it is now with long spike. Endemic. This is Strobilanthes, your Karvi, Bakra. People in Marathi call it as Bakra. Topli Karvi. Strobilanthes sessilis variety ricci. Grows in Amboli and other areas. Your Junnar, Harishandragarh, top lateritic plateaus. Amboli, it's common. Strobilanthes sessilis, close-up photographs. Topli, because it is very small bushes, no? This is Dicliptera leonotis, and I will tell you one interesting story. You see, I have collected this plant from Anjaneri, and you see, this is also same sheet been collected in 1874. See, 1874 by Nicholas Alexander Dalzell. From the same place, Anjaneri, Nashik Hill. You see here, it has been maximized. Anjanera Hill, Nashik. So this plant, Dalzell collected in 1874. Other than that specimen, this specimen is in the Kew Herbarium in London. So when I was trying to identify, I identified it as Dicliptera leonotis, but the same plant was collected by Dalzell in 1874. So after that we have collected, so that becomes the rediscovery of that plant. So see how efficiently they were working. And this is the plant Acanthaceae member. This is another Dalzell species which I have rediscovered from the Amboli and Chorla Ghat areas of our Karnataka as well as Maharashtra. So this is Acanthaceae member, Lepidophytes, which is very much medicinal important plant, rediscovered from that area. These are the threads. People are burning that area. Karvi, the nectar or honey extracted from this particular flower, that is very much costly. The reason is it flowers only once in its life cycle, 7 years. Strobilanthes calosa, in Marathi called as Karvi, is also endemic plant. You see, when it flowers, Strobilanthes reticulata, an endemic Karvi. You see, when it flowers gregariously. In next couple of years, it will flower in the Western Ghats, and you will see. Rhamnus purandarensis, you must have went to Purandar Fort. So named after Purandar Fort. Rhamnus is your boar, Boraci family, Rhamnus. So Rhamnaceae. So it is edible. People make this honey from that particular plant is very much costly. Mainmula, lonche, for those who are having kidney stone, that is the medicine actually, this pickle. So made out of these Coleus barbatus grows in the drier areas of our Northern Western Ghats. This is Kokum Sarbat, your Amsul and this. So this grows your Solkadi and everything, obesity, depressants, they are from this. You see, appetite supplement. So these plants will go great in the Northern Western Ghats. Narkya, you see the value of these particular 1 kilogram powder of camptothecin, 2.96 lakh rupees per lakh. And people sell this plant from our areas only to 2 rupees per kg to the Japan, smuggled, and same medicine when we purchased, you see, 2.96 lakh. This happens. This blunder happen. Anybody make us mad because we don't know our own resources. This happens. This is anti-cancerous plant. 3 lakh rupees per kg. This is international market. You can check out these figures on the internet after my lecture. Artemisia nilgirica, it is an insect repellent plant we get in the Western Ghats. If you go to Jyotiba Hill in near Kolhapur, you will find this plant is they are selling outside the temple. Aghada, Acheranthus arspera, the beautiful plant, very much spiny, but flowers are very much beautiful. But how many uses you see? Epilepsy, ease in the childbirth, asthma, anti-fertility, anemia, several uses, menstrual disorders. This is dhoop, no? Canarium strictum we get in our Western Ghats. This is made up out of that particular plant. We get that in Amboli and down south in Karnataka. Haldi Samaramba, you see, recently you must have attended several functions. What is that haldi? Haldi come from these particular kurkumas. We have lot of haldis in our wild area, like wild habitats. Kurkuma, longa is our halad, local halad. But curcuma aromatica, curcuma pseudomontana, curcuma nilgirensis. See how many curcumas we are having in our Western Ghats. You should go to the field and you should find. Crinum mulbericum. It is the longest lived crinum. My professor has described this with Manoj Lekhak sir. And see, what is that is not a discovery itself. And galanthamine alkaloid is there, anti-Alzheimer. And what is highest galanthamine content is there in the Crinum mulbericum. And what that galanthamine used? Alzheimer. You must have seen what is Alzheimer. Memory loss. Everything is lost, no? It is not like temporary memory loss, no, somebody in movie. But it is not temporary, forever memory loss. On that galanthamine is useful and that has been isolated from the Crinum mulbericum. Celeste Jyotish Mati in Marathi, Malkanguni also it is called. We are having in plenty in our Western Ghats, but that oil is like memory enhancer. Those who are with having, no, we should utilize this in TY BSc Botany. You will be having this same in your study next semester or this semester. Bacopa monnieri is also memory enhancer. So people call these also Brahmi, Centella asiatica. But real Brahmi is this. Bacopa monnieri is a real Brahmi. Parleria gibsoni is your Catechoranti. See the beauty of the flower. You can grow them in your botanical gardens. And Catechoranti being the relative of the Adulsa, used in several medical uses. You can see we have a lot of Barlerias in our northern Western Ghats. This is Barleria lavaniana, recently described by my senior, and other Barlerias are also there, Catechoranti. Pogostemon deccanensis is endemic to Western Ghats. Manjiri we call, Lamiaceae member. So Pinda concanensis is Panda, your Apiaceae coriander family member. So people are selling these seeds of these Pinda 600 rupees per kg in remote areas of our Nashik district. And that is from there it has been smuggled to somewhere nobody knows. Later on we'll purchase the same medicine in lakh rupees, you see, because we don't know. This is your Saped Musli, aphrodisiac properties. Aphrodisiac means it is with the properties to increase the sexual power. And there are medicines since it's Saped Musli. You see per kg the price is 5,000 rupees, 630 rupees. So that is what is the price of this Chlorophytum boryvillianum. So one of my senior, he worked on this Chlorophytum. He is working in Jawar now. Entire India's Chlorophytum he worked on. Wild vegetables are also many. Have you ever had the vegetable from the bamboo? See, bamboos, people made vegetable here in Trambakeshwar. This is wild bananas. People make vegetable. Caparis, we have vegetables. Dioscorea bulbifera, people make vegetable. You will not believe that even people are using this mohano, Maduga latifolia seeds and oil extracted from that seed as an edible oil and other remaining used in the soap industries. People are selling small these are the, in Marathi we call karwand, right? Blackberries. This is avla. In Marathi they call avla. It is Maina lexiflora. People are selling, these are the mango, entire this full tokeries for 70 rupees. So you should remember that people are selling these small, it is their livelihood. 10 rupees per small this fruits. 10 rupees means nothing. For us, it is like plant. For them, it is resource. So we should remember. And why this much diversity is there in our area country? Because we are out of these 17 mega diverse countries, we are one. India is one of those mega diverse countries. There are 17 mega diverse countries all over the world, and we are one of them. And we are again more lucky that we are in the northern Western Ghats or Western Ghats, which is the hottest hotspot. It is not luckiest thing, of course, but it is too much diverse area of entire country. This is one, and another is Northeast India. So another point is we are also one of the 36 hotspots of the world. 36 hotspot. What is hotspot? Hotspot for mobile is good, but this hotspot is not good. It is red, no? The reason is we are again hottest hotspot. Hottest hotspot means the area which should have at least 1,500 endemic plants. Now I have showed you some of the endemic species. So this area, certainly Western Ghats is having more than 1,500 species as endemic. But another point is the 70% vegetation is already lost. So already we lost 70% vegetation of the Western Ghats. So it is not good thing. So that is why it is known as hotspot. So sometimes we call hotspot is good. Our area is hotspot. Hotspot ही अशी गोष्ट नाही की जी मिरवायला पाहिजे. हॉटस्पॉट ही अत्यंत लज्जास्पद गोष्ट आहे. मेगा डायव्हर्स चांगला आहे, परंतु हॉटस्पॉट असणं हे चांगलं नाही, कारण तिथलं ऑलरेडी 70% व्हेजिटेशन लॉस्ट झालेलं आहे आपल्या अँथ्रोपोजेनिक प्रेशरमुळे. एका झाडापासून आपल्याला सब ट्रॉपिकल झाड असेल तर 120 लाखाचा वगैरे फायदा होतो. हे सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे. आता ऑक्सिजन एवढा आहे, आता सगळ्यांना कोरोनामध्ये समजलं असेल. सो दॅट इज वॉट. सो दोज आर दी uses of the plants. What are the problems? So you say, what is the green forest? And you see, with those excavators, we are now cleaning the forest. This is zooming cultivation in Trambak area itself. This is your Penicitum or Illucine is growing, Nagli, Natsni. So people are cutting the forest and growing those plants. This is deforestation. These are the problems in our biodiversity. Enormous tourism. People are walking on the plants. People are throwing plastic, everything. Khas, this is on the Khas Plateau. You see how many tourists they visited on this small area. What will remain there? This is not the sustainable tourism. We should understand. Okay. Then what happens is, if tourism is too much, then this certainly is going to happen. Mano Prani Sangharsh means animal-human conflict. Certainly those animals will come. Now in your Pune itself, I think last month itself in December, this Indian boss Gaurus came, no? So that is not good. One died itself. One boss Gaurus died also. So this happens then in Igatpuri area. You see that leopard, no, with several its cubs. It's occurred in one of the hut. So then they kill one of the kid, no, which I feel very much bad. See, the small kids, no, they are not possible. They're responsible for this. It's happening to them only. So many people told us to save forest, to conserve it. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was one who gave an order. It's not a request, it's an Ajna, order. Ajna Patra means what? It's an order that you should do this. Even he didn't allow to cut even dried wood. We are not listening to him also. People are not listening. You are my students, you are listening, of course. But people, when they are going for the developmental projects or road widening or wherever it is possible, people are cutting trees as if we are autotrophs. So Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj told that we should not go for such kind of things. Santa Tukobarai told that this is Vrakshavalya Amaswari. Nobody listens. So that happens when we don't understand our resources. Rahibai Popere is the one, she understood. She is not learned. She is not BSc Botany or MSc Botany or PhD Botany. She understood. Kombalni village in near Akole, Ahmednagar. People call her as Bij Mata. She got Padma Shri Award. She got Narish Sanman Award from the Rashtrapati, President. So you should understand, if she can understand the value of the germplasm, value of the seeds, value of the conservation, even without even learning the basics in the botany. So we are the students of botany. We should see that how that forest will be conserved, how our germplasm will be retained. So this I saw in the Silent Valley National Park when I was doing PhD. Hair can grow, huh? But forest, no. We can create garden, botanical garden, but we cannot create forest. You can understand, right? Actually, developing forest is a million-year story. It takes lot of years, no, to build a forest, and we are cutting them with no sudden excavators or cutting. Now machines are also there. So forest we cannot grow in minute, no, or even years. We can create only garden, botanical garden. Forest, it is several communities, several plants together. We cannot happen. This is my team. Dr. Sanjay Auti from RYK Science College, my senior. This is, he worked extensively on the grasses, Gosavi sir. Arun Chandore is working in the plateaus of Northern Western Ghats. He is my senior, he worked on the chlorophytum, Saped Musri. He is my senior worked on the Amorphallus, Suran. He is my colleague now, Ashok. He is working on ethnobotanical aspects. Nilesh is working on the cypressy, Lavale. She is working on the plateaus. She is working on the diospyros. This is my team with whom we every Sunday we go for the field work. We collect plants. So if you find some difficulties, you can ask me. You can take my number from the madam. We can ask anytime. And these are my two tigers, I call them, because this is Ajay. He's now in Pune University. He's pursuing his MSc or PG from Pune University. He is also doing his PhD, Samir Maiti, in RYK Science College, Nashik. Every Sunday, they accompany me for a tour. And that's how we collect so many plants. We study plants. If you find some difficulties, these are my gurus. Dr. Ken Gandhi for the nomenclatural issues. He is my professor for my doctoral studies, Professor S.R. Yadav, and my postdoctoral studies, Professor M.K. Janardhanam. He is my postdoctoral mentor. Without them, I will not be able to do anything. I could not be able to do anything. I was just like beginner as you are now. These three people, they polished my career, and now I am something. And finally, I thank you with these people. We have to save our resources. We have to conserve our resources for the society, for the posterity, so that we can make a difference. With this, I can stop. I think I made my statement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a really nice presentation. Um, nice photographs of flowers and how floristic study is important in taxonomy as well as for laymen also, that you have shown very well. Also, how these plants act as a resources. By seeing all these appetizing photos, really this is a lunchtime, everybody has understood the importance of it. With that, it was a really wonderful and a very good lecture, sir. Students, if you have any questions, you can ask her, or else you can type in the chat box. And if not, then we will go ahead. So I will give you some time. If you have any question, please feel free to ask, sir.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, I have one question. Like at here we have TYBSc Botany. So can you please give some idea about some small projects like for 1 month or 2 months for our students, so that they can get some idea about the field survey as well as some what you can say documentation of plants.
Yes. Anybody, those staying everywhere, you just go surrounding areas of your house even. The plants which are growing along the roadside, the plants which are being used as avenue trees, the plants which the herbaceous plants or weeds in the harvested rice fields, weeds in these particular fields. So that you can understand the diversity. And 1 month it is enough to learn something, So that's why you take a small project that along the roadside plants, because you need not to go to forest always. Once, because this BSc, it's a turning point of your life. You have to prepare for the entrance examinations. So that's why see to it that you work on your area of your vicinity, and you minimize your time on the these aspects, no, and so that you can give more time to the preparations for the entrance examinations of other universities or even for abroad. Project for project, small things. Just I have told you, no, take small areas and work.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
I would like to add into that, sir. We have here in Saswad, even Saswad comes in a very, Saswad has a very good diversity. So even
Yes.
student can start on our ground. There are, many floral vegetation is available. Like seasonal, it is changing. So student,
Yes.
if they documented that as well, it will be very good study for them. Then we
Yes.
have Wagdongar over here. Then Purandar Fort is there.
Yes.
So we can start with that.
Of course, they can start. And for throughout the year, they should work. Then only
Yes,
that floristic and seasonal variation they can understand. The point is, throughout year, you should plan your studies. If at present, suddenly, if you want to start, then you see to it that you work on a particular habitat, like aquatic plants of this area, harvested rice field weeds, or these particular areas. If you want to survey entire hill, entire fort, you should survey it throughout the year for taxonomy purpose, even for other purposes also, you have to work. That is a doctoral problems. But you can ask me. I have given my email. You can contact me anytime. Anything else? For Latin names, you need not to bother. Okay, Swapnil is asking something. Swapnil,
Yes.
sir. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Myself, Dr. Jagtap Swapnil.
Okay,
I'm working in this department. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much, sir, for very nice information about the biodiversity. You have covered a lot of information about the biodiversity of Ceropegia, Murdania, Mucuna, then different palms, legumes, then insectivorous, parasitic, semi-parasitic plants. Then not only you talk about the biodiversity, but also you talk about the applied aspect of the plants, bioprospecting of the plants also, with some examples specifically with respect to the plants like the Safed Musari, Chlorophytum borevillianum, then the Narcia notopoditus specifically. Uh, you have mentioned about that the bioprospecting is very important, and uh, it's really true that not only the information about the plant is important, but the bioprospecting is also very important. Sir, our department under DBT Star College, we are also focusing on the bioprospecting also. Sir, could you guide us that by considering the bioprospecting about the plants, what kind of skills with related to the bioprospecting, so that whatever our students are there, they could be an acquire the skills about the bioprospecting. What kind of what kind of the techniques or the skills they should learn under this DBT Star College scheme. So we want your guidance that what kind of techniques or what kind of workshops we should organize so that students they can also understand about that bioprospecting, and in future it would be a beneficial for their career in the plant sciences also.
So student, for you, because you are the one who is actually shaping their minds. So thank you, sir, for the nice question. So you should organize the workshops on the germination techniques, the basics, because they should be able to have their own plant material for themselves, for the posteriority. So even seed germination, when to collect seeds, this is one. Then other thing is they should understand the small isolation techniques, phytochemical techniques, how to analyze the sugar percentage or other chemicals, no, small chemical profiling. So that our botany students, they lag behind in the chemical characterization of the plants. Small characterization is essential. It is need not to be actually, they should go for the LCMS and that kind of final performance, but they should be able to, one should go for exposure at that level, that we should uh, be able to analyze the chemical properties of those plants by giving them exposure to those kind of machineries at the very beginning. This is one. Another thing is local Vaidyus, what they are giving, no, this is the medicine on the kidney stone, this is the medicine on the piles. Our students should get that material, and you should train them in the identification of the, like madam is there, maybe she worked on the anatomy. So vessels, what are the vessels, organoleptic properties of those plants. So if they will be able to identify the plant materials from those crude drugs, and if they will be able to go for its real validation, whether really what is the active principle of that particular drug which is actually making people cure. So those small things, they can work. Even if one student can take only one medicine, and if we go for validation, then real bioprospecting is can be happened. So seed germination, phytochemical analysis, these organoleptic properties, and identification and conservation of the medicinal plant in that, because first they should know what is in our vicinity. So for that, they should be able to identify the plants in our areas, what are the with medicinal properties. So that can be done. So these kind of workshops should be actually organized, and like hand-on experience, like 3 days at least. So they learn almost all the techniques and they can perform. Whoever wants, of course, everybody will not go in that area. So whoever wants, he will take that stepping stone, and he will go beyond. You know. So that's what I. Pachore sir, namaskar. So that's what I can suggest.
Thank you, sir.
So I will request Dr. Sheetal Kallapure ma'am to extend her vote of thanks.
First, I will say thank you everybody for the patience listening and asking questions. It means a lot to me, giving me opportunity for sharing what I understand about the biodiversity of our area. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sheetal ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the votes of thanks for this event to all dignitaries assembled here. On the behalf of Wagire College, I would like to thank our today's speaker, Dr. Sharad Kamble sir from Nashik, who honored this function with his inspirational talk on floristic biodiversity. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable information and time with our students. I wish to thank Honorable Principal Sushma Bhosle ma'am for her constant support and guidance. I also convey my heartfelt thanks to the head of Botany Department, Dr. Swapnil Jagtap sir, Dr. Vidya Patankar madam, DBT coordinator, and Nikhil Gurav sir for arranging such a nice guest lecture. Thanks to all staff members from Saswat College for attending the guest lecture. And last but not least, I would like to thank all my beloved students for showing their patience and presently throughout the guest lecture. Thank you so much.
Nikhil sir.
Yes.
Sorry that I throughout the lecture I called you by your first name. I
No
thought that
problem.
you are the student representative who is actually comparing. So sorry.
No problem, sir.
Your photograph in the this one, no thumbnail looks like you are like a student, no. So much younger. So thank you.
Okay.
Take it as a compliment. Thank you very much.
No, sir. No. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, sorry for late work.
No, it's okay, sir. I'm happy that you are around. Huh?
Tomorrow is our sir.
Okay.
Tomorrow I will join in.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Patankar ma'am, for the opportunity. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's our pleasure, sir, to have you here.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Sheetal ma'am. Thank you, Jagtap sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Hope we'll meet in person once this COVID is over.
Yeah, sure, sir. We will arrange something and we'll call you.
Sure. Thank you very much. I think I should leave now. Huh? Okay.
Yes.
Sir, we will definitely come and we will definitely come to Nashik with our team.
Whoever.
Yeah, once COVID-19 pandemic is over, and we definitely forward for your support during the COVID.
Whoever comes to Nashik, I'll be happy to assist them.
Yes.
Please come here. From Trambakeshwar is here.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
So Shiva temple is around, Anjaneya is around. So whoever comes, I will assist them. I'll be happy.
Yes,
I'll be
sir.
happy if I'm not around. My students will certainly take you to the localities wherever you want to go.
Yes.
So they are enough trained that they can show you the rarest of the rarest plant. So things will be taken care of. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.